Warning. This program contains strong language, auditory violence, and mental nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to your uncensored home for World of Warcraft news and opinions. This is Unshackled Fury.
We raged, we settled, we recharged, and now we are back once again to rampage over the World of Warcraft landscape. So welcome back for episode 182 of your uncensored home for World of Warcraft news and opinions, Unshackled Fury. I'm your host, Berzerker, and with me once again is the man who is the piece and pièce de résistance, Mr. Jez Corden. Welcome back again, good sir.
Oh, man. I love the intros, man. It's worth showing up just for that.
You don't get those on Xbox too. I know it.
No, I don't. I don't. I do not.
You gotta tell Rand to step it up.
I agree. I do. I'm going to tell him so. Yeah.
Listen, this is how it is over on my side piece show. You gotta start stepping it up.
Dip.
Well, welcome back to you, sir. Welcome back, everyone. Apologies to the YouTube crew if you're on the YouTube listening to this or viewing this, as it were. You're just getting the audio. Having some behind the stage issues with stuff, so it's gonna be audio only just for this and the next episode before we go on break. And I'm gonna try to do some things during the summer break to get us back on screen and doing all the, video stuff you people, at least the 5 of you that watch, seem to love. So thanks you for heading along this journey with us on the audio waves, at least just for a little while. But yes, we are back after a 3-week break. Had to take an extra week just to kind of get schedules to settle out. We're gonna do this episode. In a couple weeks, we'll do our last one before summer break. I've got stuff to do. Jez has got stuff to do, and summer's just always fucking nuts. And a good time to take a little break before we get into the run up to BlizzCon, which is going to be all kinds of crazy. But Jez, since last we were here, how have things been? How has life been treating you? Are you still afloat in the Windows Central world?
I mean, it's tough out there for publishers, man. Google keeps changing everything, stealing the content, and just offering it versus via AI. So it's like, how are we supposed to run a business like this? And then furthermore, I'm kind of sitting there thinking, like, how is Google supposed to run a business like this? Because if nobody can write any information, their AI is not going to have anything to click on anyway. So it's a baffling time in tech. So. But, as a lot of people are suffering in a lot of industries right now, I think. Kind of like they're calling it the next industrial revolution or whatever. Yeah. And there was a lot of chaos when that popped off. But I kind of feel like AI is a lot less impressive than the Steam engine was, though. A lot less impressive. I've tried to use AI for work, and it's just too dumb, I sit here wondering, like, is this something that's going to be good in 2 or 3 years? Because right now it's trash. I asked AI the other day to pull me the links for the top stories from Windows Central last week, so I could put them in a newsletter, and it just couldn't do it. It just kept giving me fake URLs and fake stories, and I was like, bro, those stories don't exist. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right, you got me. I'll try again. Another bunch of fake stories, and I'm like, what the hell? And this is what they're investing trillions of dollars in. So yeah, that's how I am. How are you?
Well, believe it or not, AI is, as you well know, AI has infiltrated just about everything. So it may not surprise you. I've been having my own battles with AI, even on my side of things, in ways that I'm just like, come on, people, stop being stupid. And yeah, not entirely being correct in the way that things are coming out. And it's like, God, just do it yourself, please. Just knock it off. AI is good for making up fake songs about stuff that I really enjoy, or coming up with stupid movies of things that I enjoy. But in the workplace, it's terrible. But yeah, we actually this weekend, Jez, as you and I record, it's the Memorial Day weekend happening here in the U.S. So here we are on Sunday, Monday, tomorrow. I will be back at it, smoking delicious giant cuts of meat. We've got a nice pork shoulder that's going on the smoker tomorrow, around about 10 pounds. So that'll yield maybe like 7 pounds of meat. So we're going to be eating pretty good this week. But in order for me
you got Monday off?
Yeah, Monday off.
Oh, damn, nice.
3-day weekend. So, in remembrance of, all of those, it's one of those times in American history we remember those that have served in the armed forces, those that have given some or given all in many cases to protect ourselves, our interests, our very founding, those kinds of things. So regardless of where anyone is on any political spectrum, I think we can all take a moment to appreciate the folks that have put their asses out there on the line, and the families who support them, and anything that we can do to support our veterans. Please, dear God, take the opportunities to do that, because they get royally fucked at every turn, and it's horrible. And so if there are any veterans happening to be listening to this program, thank you for your service, putting your necks out there. Beyond appreciative. Having members of my own family as many generations back as I can trace, I'm probably the first that didn't go into the military or some sort of police force or something to that effect. So I'm certainly the outlier in my family, and appreciate folks that have participated in that side of life. So thank you. And in your honor, big giant meats being smoked, and they'll probably share some of that around town. But in order to do that, Jez, I had to clean out the enormous rat shit infested nest that was under my outdoor couch by my smoker, and it was absolutely horrific. And
boy,
oh my God, I had to buy a brand new shovel just to be able to get it the way I needed to get it, because there was so much of it, and it was so nasty, and there was like fruit rinds and husks and
oh my God.
Yeah, yesterday was gnarly, bro. I probably needed to take at least one more shower to get through it. So much happier to be here recording with you doing this than what I was doing yesterday. But tomorrow will be great. One thing that I did get to do recently, and you saw photos of this, was I got to meet. I went to a recording of Total Nonstop Action Wrestling with my son a week ago, and we got to meet the Hardy Boys. Which,
oh wow.
If you've been around wrestling, you know who the Hardy Boys are. They've been around forever. And we got to do a meet and greet, and they were so nice. They were just the nicest two dudes. And they were very gracious with their time. They were spending a couple minutes with everybody that came through. And Jeff is a good hugger. That's what I'll say. Jeff Hardy, good hugger. And we took a nice photo, and that was awesome. A good time. It was awesome. I don't watch a lot of TNA, but they came to town, and we're like, I will give it a shot. Had the most fucking fun. It was a great time, a great show. I know they're like way down on the kind of hierarchy of pro wrestling these days, but it was an awesome time. We had a fucking fantastic time. Mike Santana, Mustafa Ali. We got to see oh god damn it, what's his name? Escaping me off the top of my head. He's retired, but he came out of retirement basically for like the one match. Santino Marella. He was awesome. He was.
Oh wow, you met Santino Marella?
He dude still got moves. It's crazy. So
that's crazy.
It was a great time. But yeah, that's what we've been up to since last we were here. And Jez, I don't know what inspired me for the metal album of the week this week, shifting gears here. I don't know what inspired me to reach into the deep recesses of my mind for this one, but I'm curious what you may know or remember or have experienced in relation to this band. But going back to September 29th of 2009, it was the release of Death Album 2 by Death Clock.
Death Clock.
So the laugh is warranted. If you don't know who Death Clock is or was, Death Clock was the fictional, semi-fictional band that existed on a show called Metalocalypse, which was an Adult Swim staple, I think, for many years. They only did, I think four seasons, but they were just around. And if you never watched it, you didn't know, essentially, and I'm boiling this way down, is that Death Clock was this, uber heavy metal band that was like the biggest band in the world. They were like the 7th largest economy on the planet by this time. They, it's just like crazy fantasy about the biggest band, and it was a metal band that ever lived. But they actually did put out albums. The guy who ran the whole thing, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I got to pull this up. Brendan Small. He actually like created this whole thing and sang it and played music, and they had like real musicians like Gene Hoglan, who was the drummer in Testament for a while. They had like a legitimate a band, and for a while Jez, they even toured, and I saw them, and I think this is what like again inspired this sort of thing. Going back to 2009, I had to pull this up. November 21st of 2009, so it was right after this album came out. I saw them at the Event Center Arena in San Jose at San Jose State. A buddy of mine, and the homie Rommel, will know exactly who was with me when I went to this one, because he and I used to go to a bunch of metal shows, but his driving terrifies me, and so I don't know that we do that anymore. But I saw them, and it was awesome, and they had like, the big animated stuff playing on a big screen behind the band, and it was a badass time. They were touring in support of Mastodon. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal show. I was trying to think of who else was on there. It was Mastodon, High on Fire, and Converge. Yeah, it was those 4 bands in one night. It was a great time. But for you, Jez, Death Clock, are you familiar with Death Clock?
I am familiar with Death Clock. I got a couple of friends who are huge fans of them. I've never really listened to them myself too much. Okay. Except like when sometimes like we'd hang out and get drunk, and like kind of like one of the things we do is we all connect our phones to the TV and then build up a YouTube playlist. So we all like take it in turn to submit songs while drinking. And they would always submit Death Clock, right? And then I'm submitting weird shit like Swans and stuff nobody wants to listen to. So it's everyone's there like listening to like I'm on a Martha, Death Clock and stuff, and I'm there with my weird like these Angelo Badalamenti, the Twin Peaks soundtrack. And they're like,
there's nothing wrong with that. That's good too.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but yeah, that's how I'm aware of them.
It's always the friends. They're always the problem. This I think is a good one for you. Laser Cannon Death Sentence is probably my favorite song off of this, and was very famous. It was in a Guitar Hero. I think it was in a Guitar Hero or a couple of Guitar Hero games. This album actually peaked at 15 on the Billboard Top 200. So it did get some play.
That's numbers.
It's a decent listen, honestly. You can put it on. I know you're a Spotify guy, so go out and throw this on while you're, I don't know, working on your newsletter or something. This is.
Oh yeah, I got to do a newsletter. Thanks for reminding me.
There it is. Put it on. It's a good time. And I think there was a DVD and some other stuff that went with this one, but yeah. If you aren't familiar out there with Death Clock, it's very kind of tongue-in-cheek in a lot of ways. It's serious but not. It was a great kind of moment in time for this just crazy creation that was this pseudo pseudo real band. But for our recommendation this week, get out there. Death Album 2 by Death Clock from September of 2009. All right. I've got a rage segment that I've been sitting on for a couple weeks because it came up right after we did our last episode. And I had a revelation and then I didn't. And, well, let's hear about it. Let's go.
Let's rage.
Since we were here last, Jez, a thing happened. A thing happened that I didn't think would ever happen. I fell in love with PvP.
Whoa.
A thing that I have shunned for many, 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 many years. All the years, basically, that I played World of Warcraft. I found a new love with PvP that I didn't think would ever happen. And I got to thank the homie Rommel for this because, we were getting together on a regular Thursday night jamboree hootenanny. And instead of doing delves, Jez, we started doing duels. And not just any duels, decor duels. The most
decor duel.
Hardcore of the hardcore of PvP.
I thought you were going to tell me you were doing slash Magara, but no.
Oh no, we were doing decor duel, the greatest dueling of any kind of dueling in the history of World of Warcraft. There in the mean streets of Silver Moon, there we were, and we had come up with all kinds of strategies. Rommel with the hay pillow and the column scroll and all of the other things that we came up with on that night. And we played and we slayed and we found and we hid and we evaded and we jumped and we did all kinds of maneuvers to win. And after all of those games, Jez, after all of those duels, after all of that PvP content that I did, not one item, not even a hope of a chance of anything in my vault, my weekly vault, because as it turns out, that kind of PvP doesn't count towards your weekly vault.
Oh, snap. Well, that's unfortunate.
Can you believe it?
Well, actually, yeah, because it's not legitimate PvP, bro.
Oh, nobody told me. Nobody told me. It was in the PvP section. I thought I had found it. I thought I had finally connected with the great PvP realms of the world and beyond, and we were having so much fun, and we were dominating, hiding out in plain sight as a harp or a stack of books or some scrolls somewhere, and we were dominating, and I was ready for my hero level helm to be bestowed upon me from this great PvP action. But nay, there is no progress counted from the core dueling. So if you, like me, were bamboozled, were tricked, were hoodwinked into thinking that counted towards your weekly vault, do not fall for that trap as I did, because it is in fact considered non-violence, non-hostile PvP, and I guess only if you kill somebody else do you actually get credit towards getting a new piece of gear. So I guess, Jez, that's just the lesson that I have to learn the hard way once again. But for all of you that don't like PvP, I may have found your way into. So word to the wise. Word to the wise. All right, let's get into our news section where, this week we're going to try to make chicken sit into chicken salad. Here we go. We are in the doldrums. That's just what it is. But, we're here. We're here. We're here for you. We're here for the people. Last episode, Jez, we had a wide-ranging conversation about me getting all fucking worked up because of Twitter, and I shouldn't have gone on there in the first place. And off we went into all of these different areas of the community and the game, and what might be going sideways, and what might they need to do, and all kinds of stuff. But something that I learned coming out of this, and I know that you know this far better than I do, but rage sells, man. Like, rage really sells, because we never got as much of a response through email, Twitter, Discord, skywriting, smoke signals, carrier pigeon. Man, we were getting it from all corners. I've never seen a response like this to any episode I think that I've ever put out there for us.
Oh dear.
Is this what it is like as somebody who has a greater reach on Xbox 2 and Windows Central? It's just all about clicks and views. Rage just has always really sold, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's nothing really new. It's kind of funny if you go back and watch like old movies and stuff. These topics do come up. Like what was I playing? I was playing Broken Sword the other day. Have you heard of Broken Sword? Broken Sword. Broken Sword. When did it come out? So Broken Sword, the original Broken Sword game, launched on the PlayStation 1.
Wow.
All the way back in 1996.
Wow.
Shadow of the Templars.
Okay.
It was known as Circle of Blood in North America. I didn't know that, but it's known as Shadow of the Templars in Britain.
Okay.
I don't know why, but in the 90s, like a lot of games had different names in Britain compared to America. I don't know why, but that was a thing apparently. But anyways, I digress. I was playing Broken Sword, which is from 1996,
okay.
And it's a point-and-click adventure game. You play as an American guy. It's funny because it's written by British people. But you play as an American guy.
Okay.
And it's like the American guy keeps using British humor and British sarcasm. It's a really strange dynamic now that I'm an adult and I can understand it.
Yeah.
But he's really sarcastic. But he gets caught up in a terror attack, and then he just decides, like, I'm gonna investigate this myself. He's a tourist, and he just decides to start investigating this terror attack. He gets caught up in all these secret societies and all this kind of stuff, and at the start of the game, like there's a dude there reading the newspaper, and one of the things you have to do is talk to people, interact with them, and try and get clues and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the guy's like sitting there with the newspaper, and he's opening the newspaper, and he's like, "Oh, it's just all the same shit. It's all propaganda. It's all sensationalism. It's all rage." Well, it doesn't say rage bait, but you know, it's like it's all. And I was just sitting there thinking, "Fuck me, nothing's changed. This game came out 30 years ago. It came out 30 years ago, and he's bitching about the same stuff." You know, so yeah, nothing's really changed. Like rage sells, Division, and he even took. So it's really funny what he says, because it's just like this game hasn't aged today, and it's 30 years old.
That's wild.
It's crazy, man.
That's
wild. But yeah, rage sells. It's been a thing since forever.
Yeah. I guess, tried not to court too much of that side of things, because we got. First, I want to say anybody that felt the need, want, desire to comment, to reply to anything, to send anything in, always appreciate people listening, checking out the show, and feeling something about something enough to actually do something. I got certainly one email in particular was very long and well written, and had a lot of thoughts. And anybody that takes the time to put something down like that, I gotta say, I'm honestly in a way kind of flattered that you would actually take that much time out of your life to do that, because this is just a dumb podcast. So thank you for having that much thought into what we were doing. And I think it's exhausting to some degree, because I know I had at least one Twitter interaction with somebody who was wholly confused about something that I had said, and I'm like, I'm kind of unsure about what to do, because I don't want to blow anybody up. But at the same time, it's like, I think you're on the wrong track, buddy. So marshaling that kind of thing. I see, Jez, why you're so non-responsive on Twitter. Because even like I say stuff to you, and I don't even get any response from you. So I assume your filter's very high.
I had to stop reading the comments, like straight up, man. Like, I got a tweet out this week with 14 million views.
What?
Or something like that. Yeah, like actually, let me just double check that. I might be over exaggerating here. But I did. It's just a dumb quote tweet. I put out a quote tweet. Let me find it now. Oh yeah, here it is. Oh, it's got 4.5 million views.
That's crazy.
43,000 likes, and I just kind of like. It's gotten to the point with my algorithm where it's kind of started to snowball now. I had 180,000 followers last autumn. Now I've got 250,000.
Wow.
It's like it started to snowball. So like it just comes a point where I don't even see like what people say anymore, because I spot check it, but like dude, I'm not gonna see. If you reply to me on Twitter, I'm probably not gonna see it. It's,
this was about the AI WWE, which is hilarious because there's a Hardy Boy like right in the front of that. I met that guy.
Yeah, it's kind of surreal now when I see like, because I went to the WWE event and there was loads of like CM Punk was there and Joe.
Yeah.
When I see them on Twitter and stuff, I was like, oh my god, I met that guy. It's kind of surreal. But yeah, it's Twitter's just and it's not a humble brag. It's just the way it is. Like I think even back when I had like 50,000 followers or 100,000, it starts getting exhausting reading all the replies.
Yeah.
I do, however, read all my DMs because I feel like when people have made the effort to DM, that's like they've gone the extra mile to get.
That's how I got it.
So like,
okay.
Yeah. Well, message me on Discord.
I just messaged you on here. Like, shit's crazy. Well,
my Discord's public. You know, if people really want to contact me, there are ways of doing it. But Twitter's just,
you're not hard
a lot
to
of
find.
Twitter is just noise.
Yeah,
it's just bots and bots and bots.
It's
probably
crazy.
like a good 75% of my followers are bots. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's hard to verify any of this stuff anymore, so it is entirely possible.
That's true.
But yeah, it's kind of like when we did the interview with Ian. Rarity for these parts, and so kind of seeing the reaction and the discussion and kind of what happens after you do something like that. It is different. It's a different environment. You pull in different people, and the tenor of things is a little bit tougher, and it's a little more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Which is why it's kind of funny to me, and you had some great insight, and you already touched on this a little bit. There's been some discussion, again, furthering into this sort of rage bait, rage selling sort of thing, is a lot of commentary over the last 2 weeks about WoWhead of all places, and some of the, let's call them opinion pieces perhaps, that they're putting out. The one that I saw that got the most traction was, is Blizzard going overboard with casual content? Which I find kind of hilarious for WoWhead to put something out about this, because the more that like Blizzard and Warcraft puts out, the more that WoWhead can report on. So it seems like they would want them to go overboard with stuff, because that's good for their clicks, and that's good for their views, and that's content that people are consuming of theirs. And instead, we've got this sort of opinion piece about, the Argentina and the lore walking, and we got the core duels and abyss anglers, and we got this and we got this and we got this. It's like, yeah, we got all this stuff. Why are you upset? I'm not sure why you're upset, Wowhead. There was also picking up on what we talked about last time, another piece by Arkham Tyros, warrior god himself, about how the Argentina doesn't make sense, which, I mean, we've just all beat that into death now. But you had mentioned to me, and you talked about it a little bit earlier, is this just a strategy change because of things like this Google change, where Google is now not going to be doing search results? Did I understand that right? That's how that works, or is going to work, like in a week? Yeah,
so one of the things Google is about to roll out is when you do a search in Google, like best WoW builds, for example, when you do that right now, the first thing that comes up is Maxroll and then Wowhead, at least in Germany. But what's going to be starting to roll out soon is you put best WoW builds in, and you're going to get the Gemini chat box instead. So like Wowhead and the links to other World of Warcraft guide websites, they'll be pushed all the way down the page. What people will see first is, AI bullshit. So So a lot of websites that rely on guide traffic, I've already seen massively reduced traffic as a result. Like we've seen, like Windows Central built its entire business on guide traffic. Like, how do you do this in Resident Evil? How do you do this in Windows? How do you change registry? Like, we have so many weird niche Windows guides covering every single topic. Like a huge knowledge base that we've built up over decades. Like, I think Windows Central is like 15 years old now, so like over a decade, something like that, 18 years, I can't remember. But Google stole all that content and reproduced it into artificial intelligence. So like, I know if you're me, like I go to WoWhead, and usually I go there straight to look at like what's the build people are using now.
Yeah,
although
exactly.
now these days I use Archon instead. If I'm at WoWhead or like a wiki or any of these other kind of websites which build their business on reference material rather than news or exclusives, they're kind of fucked, you know. So doing these kind of content to try and get into the algorithm more, because Google will still sort of promote opinion pieces in the Google News and Google Discover on an Android phone. If you swipe left, there's like a feed of algorithmic content. And if Google knows you like World of Warcraft, it might show you an opinion article about World of Warcraft from WoWhead or Windows Central. Like some of my WoW opinion articles last month, they got a huge amount of Google News traffic. So that's probably why they're leaning into that, because it's one of the only ways you'll still be able to get traffic is from that Google News algorithm. But even that's going away because Google's prioritizing YouTube for that now. So it's like they are basically stealing the internet. You won't be able to put out any content on the internet unless you are feeding YouTube or feeding one of their platforms directly. The open web is screwed. So that's probably why you're seeing more websites like WoWhead and other wiki sites increasingly moving in towards news and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's the boring business side of it.
Well, it didn't seem like they got a whole lot of love coming around the first time on this. I mean, I guess we'll see what they continue to do. We've had pieces from WoWhead in the past where it's let's go and take apart like a cinematic and let's talk about, you know, why all these things are important or what this might be. I know they've got at least one person on staff who goes like, in my opinion, a little too deep on the lore sometimes and just gets all bent out of shape about all sorts of shit. But, you know, that's just me. And you know, there's been some, I think, opinion in there. But something like this, it does feel like, I don't know, man. Like WoWhead questioning whether or not there's too much casual content. I just thought that was kind of silly. Considering, you know, again, the more stuff that Blizzard puts out, the more stuff that Warcraft puts out, you know, all these little bits and pieces. That's a WoWhead article. Every single one of those individual things is a WoWhead post like that. And I'm not hating on them for it. That's just what they do. But it would be kind of funny for them to shit on that, I guess. But for whatever it's worth, I love the casual content. Doing all the decor dueling stuff. I know I was joking about it earlier. The homie Rommel and I have legitimately been having insane fun doing it, and I think part of it is the hilarity of two, you know, guys in their mid-40s playing fucking decor duels and like, you know, scrambling around this place and trying to hide as a pillow under a column or something. Like it in a way it is wholly ridiculous, but we're having like the best time doing it, and it's just a stupid little thing, but yes, it's part of what I love about Warcraft. It's why we played the game for so long. Is there's these things that kind of keep us going when, you know, we're no longer on a raid team. We haven't been on an active raid team now for 2 years, I think. It's been a while, and you know, the delves are great, but you know, they you know, you can only run so many delves. We've never been dungeoneers really, so we kind of have to keep finding things to keep our interest, and the more that they do, the more that we find. So for whatever it's worth, and I know that they got the article out there, but for whatever it's worth, I appreciate the casual content. But yeah, it is kind of funny to see that sort of shift from WoWhead, but maybe, like you said, maybe they got good reasons. The last maybe portion of the rage-based agenda as we'll slide out of this, coming out of last week and into this. Interesting story that's been going around, I want to say like the last week or so, of a player, maybe it's 2 weeks now, a player who got banned for dropping F-bombs in the game.
Yeah.
So saying fuck a bunch of times or whatever it was. So like the progenitor of this, the real story, whatever happened in game, nobody seems to know what actually happened. But what we got was, I think, a screenshot of somebody getting the, crappy AI. We were talking about AI, right? Let's get the crappy AI customer service thing that responded to somebody who got their account banned and was like, well, you were cursing. That's too bad. And so they screenshot it, put it up online, put it up on Twitter. They tagged Blizzard, they tagged Warcraft, and they tagged Blizzard CS. And the Blizzard CS wrote back, and it looked like this was an actual human that said, I just looked at the logs, Cody. You seem to have a fondness for dropping F-bombs. Even one, if reported, is enough. And then it had a little PJ, little thing, little symbol and a PJ thing. And then people responded to that and talking about freedom of speech. And I'm glad Blizzard pointed it out that, we have a code of conduct that every player of our game agrees to. Part of that is refraining from profanity. Freedom of speech is between the U.S. government and its citizens. Thank you for clarifying that point. Not between a private company and their customers. No, you aren't allowed to curse in our games. What's the rest of this say? Do so, get reported. There are consequences. I mean, it just kept going. You're like, oh my God. I curse all the time. I see people curse all the time. Jez, I know you curse all the time. There's a chat filter in the game. Like, there's a way to deal with this. Finally, there was, I think, the response to all of this from another person in Blizzard CS to put the kibosh on all this. They said, hey, all, jumping in here, the way we engaged with this post isn't the quality we expect of ourselves or each other at Blizzard. Customer service is here to offer clarification and guidance. We want to make our policies clear, and we want you all to feel comfortable reaching out to us. Our behavior policies are important and are regularly evaluated to help ensure our games are great places to be for as many people as possible. To be clear, cursing is not blanket punished within our games. Context matters, and in this case, the context warranted upholding the action. Thank you for making your voices heard, and we will work to communicate with more clarity moving forward. Love it when they say that. We've heard that before, potentially. Jez, what do you think happened here? Do you think somebody got in trouble on the CS side?
Man, I really don't know. Like, there was another big story about customer service this week where, like, a major PlayStation influencer, maybe the biggest PlayStation influencer, Colin Moriarty, got banned on PlayStation Network.
Oops.
And the way he got banned was like someone bribed PlayStation customer support.
That's crazy.
To hack his account. Yeah, it's absolutely nuts, right? So I think there is a theme going on right now with corporate America. Mm-hmm. Where it's like we're outsourcing customer service either to artificial intelligence or to exploited third world countries and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And as a result, like, we keep seeing these stories. Like, I've got like so many DMs from people who've been banned on Xbox Live saying, "Can you help me get my account back?" And there's no recourse for some of this stuff. And some people have said like, I didn't even use this account for months, and then I randomly got banned, and it does feel like there's something weird going on with all this kind of stuff. And I just feel like it all boils down to the fact all this stuff is underfunded, understaffed, undermanned,
yeah,
and it's just one big area where they've cut corners. But I know it's not necessarily like totally relevant to the discussion about whether or not there should be swearing in World of Warcraft. I've always thought it's kind of dumb personally because there's the swearing in World of Warcraft. And it's kind of like, well, it's a mature rated game. Like, what the fuck? And there's filters in game too. Like, what? You turned the filter off and then got upset when you saw an unfiltered comment? Like, I think if it's swearing directed at someone, like insulting them or something,
I think that's it.
Then that's different.
Yeah.
But if it's just like, I'm just putting emphasis on something like, oh, that's fucking bullshit that I didn't get that. fucking trinket again for the 1,000th fucking time. Like, it's like Blizzard, really? And then some dickhead just decides, oh, I'm going to report this guy.
Yeah.
Because I was offended because I turned the filter off, or I'm offended by the filtered asterisks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just think it's dumb as hell, and it's over sanitized, and I think like it's creating a needless headache, not just for the community, but for them too. Like, they have to moderate this needless shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that again, I'm glad they said this. I think that's where the context matters, right? Like, if you're like in your example, right? If you're just saying, "Oh, you goddamn, I fucking didn't get that piece of shit fucking trinket again," like that doesn't hurt anybody. But if you're like, "You motherfucker, you piece of shit, you stole my whatever," you know, like obviously that's verbally abusive to another player, and that you can't have. But you do get people, right, that they see a word and they get upset. I mean, I mean, I've been dealing with people like this my whole life. It makes me think of a situation when I was in high school, 1,000 years ago, and we were having a discussion about something in our debate class, and one of the kind of snobby kids in the class was saying something about, just talking out of his ass, and part of my response to him in the class about something was I said that whoever the people we were talking about, like, well, you're fucked. And you would have thought that I had just done the worst thing possible by dropping an F-bomb in the middle of class. I mean, nowadays, it means nothing. But back then, back in the olden times, people lost their shit, and I almost got suspended because somebody went home and told their mom that I said a dirty word in class. And they called the principal, and like there was a whole thing about it. So, there's always been people that get all bent out of shape about usage of a word. And, obviously this show has always been very blue in its language, and it is what it is. So we've never had a problem with it as long as you're not going after another person. But, this saga, it just highlights, to your point, how underfunded, how undermanned this portion of things probably is, very likely is, the handover of the AI to stuff. And then the example that you use with the PlayStation where, they're paying a guy dick that's not, just working on the thing. And it's probably very easy to, what was the phrase you used with me earlier? Socially engineer, right? A situation where
social
you're
engineering,
like, hey, I can get you paid if you do this thing. And it's like, fuck it. Why not? I'm not making shit. I'll do it. So, yeah, I rarely hear anything good about Blizzard CS, and it's just when you fire all of the humans and you turn it over to bots, that level of sophistication doesn't exist to deal with people and their real problems. And to what you were saying about the AI earlier, and not being able to pull up real links for a newsletter, there's just a level of sophistication that doesn't exist yet, and they're just trying to brute force it, and it doesn't make sense. But anyway, if you haven't seen it, there's all kinds of links and stuff in Twitter. Very easy to search out this whole saga and find out. But it was an interesting insight into, once again, I think the de-evolution of some of the parts of our community and our beloved franchise that needs a little bit of help. But let's switch gears a little bit. We're not getting a whole lot of patch 12.0.7 news. It's been trickling in little bits here and there. I think some updates to some rewards perhaps, and I think there's going to be a boost in some experience gains and stuff like that. But the one thing that Blizzard themselves, who've been pretty quiet on the news front, but one thing that they did put out there was a brief, just a little preview of Sporefall, which is the one boss raid that is coming in 1207. It's in Herondar, going to be in Herondar. Obviously, max level characters need only apply. Minimum eye level for Raid Finder 240. Shouldn't be too difficult these days. And it'll be on all levels, Raid Finder, normal, heroic, mythic. And you'll be taking on this big, mushroomy, broody dude named Rotmire. And Rotmire is the fungal growth of your nightmare. But lots of gear, what are they calling it? Spore fuse gear dropping from this. There's a hilarious toy, which I think turns you into like a little angry spore guy, little mushroom guy. They're hilarious. And then a horrid decor item, which is like this, I don't know what it is. They call it a rot shroom, but if you've got that thing, it's a phobia where you see like holes and stuff. Don't look at it. Because I've got it, and I looked at it, and I was like, ugh, I'm gonna vom. So, not for me on that one, but I appreciate the one boss raid. Jez, we don't we don't get those too often anymore. I think back to the Magtheridon's Lair kind of thing back in BC. I think that was probably the first one I ever did. I like the one boss raid. I like just getting in there, kicking ass, and getting out. So, your team looking forward to this?
I haven't seen a lot of excitement about this. I mean, on the one hand, it's cool that we are getting one boss raids here and there. But on the other hand, it's the most boring boss model I've ever seen. It's just one of them four giants that are already roaming around the map. At least the Undreamt God was a somewhat unique model. And had somewhat interesting lore and had a pretty cool, had some cool voiceovers. And there was some really interesting lore implications with the Undreamt God.
Yeah.
It kind of implies that, the wild gods were kind of dreamt into existence by Azeroth herself, and this particular god is either the product of a nightmare, or the dream wasn't able to fully complete because she was ripped out of her cradle by the Titans. Like, there's a lot of cool lore there. But this one-off boss is literally just mushroom guy. Great. Fantastic. Like, it just feels...
Maybe there'll be something cool in there. Maybe there'll be something. Maybe they'll have some fun abilities or something.
I mean, maybe. I know you're kind of like, oh god, Jez is being negative again. And it is kind of like, oh, my steak is too juicy. Like, I shouldn't be complaining about the fact that we're getting content. But at the same time, it just doesn't feel compelling to me. It reminded me of...
That's fair.
Some of they've done this in the past a couple of times, and I remember towards the end of the Wrath of the Lich King, they added a dragon raid, didn't they, after Icecrown Citadel to try and tide people over.
They did.
And it was like that. It was just another one of them. It was like...
It was bad.
There's no point doing this.
It
the gear's going to be obsolete in a few weeks. Yeah.
Everybody hated it.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like that with this. It's like the gear that I get from this is not really going to do much for me at the end of the season. Like, Season 2 is going to come along, and then all the gear from that's going to completely blow this away.
Yeah.
So there would have had to have been something more compelling, like the Isle of Quel'Danas raid. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You've got Lura is mechanically incredibly unique and complicated, even though it's like we've already fought her once before. But there's some really cool stuff that happens in that raid, and also what's the bird called now? Bello or something? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Some elvish bollocks, but
yeah.
they're mechanically more interesting. But this dude looked like he's been copy and pasted out of what's it called now? The swamp in the Burning Crusade. Undermire?
Oh, Zanger Marsh?
Zanger Marsh, yeah, that's the one.
It does look very Zanger Marshy. That's true.
Yeah, he's just the dude's been copy and pasted out of Zanger Marsh, and it's like with some slight model changes. And I was just like, nah, I don't find that very compelling. I'm kind of taking a break from the game at the minute because we got ahead of the curve, and I've got like almost all mythic track gear, all my gear's maxed out, and it's like there is nothing left to do. I've got every single transmog set, including the elite PvP set.
There you go.
Got literally everything I could possibly want, and I would rather the time they spent making this, I would rather they've taken that time and those dev hours and made the next season even more compelling. I don't know why. I don't really know if people want this. Maybe they do, and maybe I'm just cynical or whatever. But I don't know if this is the right direction to take. I don't know. But
we'll see what the response is. Hey,
yeah.
I'm gonna get some more comments, Jez. I'm gonna get some more comments.
Yeah, let them come. I'm sorry, I'm negative, but I just, like I say, I just wish it was a more interesting, unique kind of boss model.
Yeah.
And not just like random mushroom titan.
That's fair.
Like the Undreamed God. Give me another Undreamed God, for God's sake. I would
that's probably coming. Shit's gonna be unavoidable here for too long. So yeah, 1207 out there on the horizon. We've been kind of throwing darts at June 16th. There was a bit of an update on the PTR that the turbulent timeways got moved back to June 30th. So maybe they're moving it back, or maybe that part of the patch will just be a little bit later. So seems to be in flux. They haven't actually told us when it's coming out. So we're coming up on just like 3 weeks away, if that's the date, in mid-June. So we should be, I don't know, we should be finding out soon, but maybe they heard all of us after 12.0.5 and we're like, maybe we ought to fucking hit the brakes a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see. But we'll keep an eye on it. My assumption is when we come back in a couple weeks, we'll have a full 12.0.7 preview for everybody, and we can pick that apart and talk a little bit further about it. But until then, drips and drabs coming, so just keep an eye out on all your favorite news spaces. And we've also seen that patch 12.1, the next big content patch, it is out there on the encrypted vendor server, whatever the fuck that is. You know, they've got it out there somewhere. Someone's keeping an eye out. So it is rolling on. The beat marches on. In the meantime, we had kind of an interesting announcement, unrelated to patch cadences and all these other things. We had an official announcement from Blizzard about the BlizzCon 2026 Community Night host and contest judges, which, I mean, we're still 4 months away from BlizzCon, so not forever. Still a little ways away, I think, from the show. But highlight of that, of course, is everybody loves Darren DePaul, great voice actor from all kinds of Blizzard properties, probably best known from Reinhardt in Overwatch. And he's always full of energy, and I don't know, well, I was gonna make a drug reference, but I don't know if that's nice. He always has a lot of energy, and I wish I had that energy myself to, take with me wherever I go. But Darren DePaul, let's see, what do they say? Voice of Reinhardt, N'Zoth, Blackhand, Tyr, Gallywix. Yeah, he's done a bunch. He's gonna be, it's your boy Gallywix. Jez Gallywix is hosting the community night. That's all you need to know. That's the main thing.
You know what that says to me?
What does that say?
Gallywix ain't dead. Gallywix ain't dead, bro. That says to me he escaped. There was no body. I did not see a body, so I think he escaped.
Yeah.
I think Gallywix is not dead.
Yeah.
Especially if the voice actor is still playing a huge role at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
I know he does other voices too, but I think the last Titan is Gallywix.
Oh shit! There it is. You cracked.
I think this whole time we've been thinking the Titan, the last Titan is a Titan. But what if it's a Titanic-sized mech made by Gallywix? That's that.
I mean,
yeah, I'm going with that.
That would be something. I mean, listen, I am all for a Pacific Rim-esque expansion where it's just Jaegers everywhere. That would be, I'll take Gypsy Danger in action any day. That'd be fantastic. Well, Jez is cracking the code there. A couple other people we got on this one as judges, cosplay judges. We've got Tiffany Gordon cosplay, who had that excellent Lilith cosplay back in 2023. I mean, just absolutely gorgeous. The whole big headpiece, all the wardrobe, the whole kit and caboodle, just outstanding. Samir Tikka Masala Kamui, Kamui, Kamui. I never know how to say it, but I see her all the time. Kamui cosplay.
I don't know.
Cinderis, who I think does a pretty solid Sylvanas for you there, buddy. And
sweet.
say.
I really want to meet Kamui cosplay. I saw her at Gamescom.
Yeah.
At the Blizzard mixer, and I was just too shy to say hello.
Dude, she's great. She's done a ton of cool shit.
Yeah, she's awesome.
All right,
I think
BlizzCon.
is she like the biggest cosplayer on Instagram? I think she might
Is she?
be.
I mean,
I think she might be. Yeah,
that
she's
wouldn't
huge.
surprise me.
She's German too. I think she's like Germany's biggest influencer.
Oh shit. We had to say hi. Ah, well, we'll fix that.
Yeah.
Last one is Selasara. If I fucked that up, my apologies. Also, I believe a Blizzard employee, an IT support engineer, and a BlizzCon ambassador. They're doing these BlizzCon ambassadors this year, and they're going to have like a special cert, and they're people that I think are there to kind of help spread good cheer. So it's another one of those people you'll see out there. But yeah, this is the big, talent show that we do at BlizzCon. It's always one of my favorites. The Q&A used to be my favorite when it was just live and uncensored and unfiltered and unpre-chosen questions, when it was just shot out of a cannon. You can get anybody up there asking fucking questions. But the community night has always been one of my favorite. You had your costumes, your cosplays, you used to do the dance competition till that guy broke his fucking leg or whatever the thing was, or broke his arm when he was doing the undead dance, and he fell, and that was a whole thing. But I used to love that. They've also got the art contest, the short film contest, whatever the talent is. You get people singing songs. Always a great night. Always a great time. It takes a lot of guts to go out on a stage and do anything in front of a convention of this size. Like, I think people may not know until they get there how big it is, and then you get out there, man, it takes a lot of fucking balls to go out there and do anything in front of a crowd that big. It's let alone the sort of global audience online. That's a big fucking deal. So we've seen now our first BlizzCon kind of specific announcement about a panel and who's going to be doing what and where. I haven't seen any others yet. I can say officially that Blizzard has invited, we all just got to hook up, but Blizzard did invite me, so I have been one of the officially invited people on behalf of Blizzard. I don't know what that actually means on the grounds. I don't know if this is I've asked for specificity on this, but I don't know if it's just a general audience thing, which I've already purchased, or if this is what we consider to be a press pass. I don't know. But I was part of the handful of people or a group of people that were asked to come on their dime. So I did, of course, say yes, and we'll see what that turns into. So, I was already going to be there, but hopefully this means we get a little more access while we're down there. But Jez, have any of the Blizzard people or any of the Microsoft people got you hooked up with any interviews with our dream stars yet? Or are you still waiting in the wings for more instruction?
I'm still waiting.
Okay.
I should chase up, actually.
Okay.
Getting close. I'm
It's
going
getting
to Summer
close.
Game Fest, though. I'm going to the Xbox event in a couple of weeks here in LA.
Ooh,
And then it's BlizzCon in a couple of months.
4 months, less
So,
than.
I don't know if there's any Blizzardy stuff going on at Summer Game Fest this year, but I presume there'll be some Blizzardy people to meet at the Xbox stuff. But we'll see what happens.
Well, it's definitely going to be that at BlizzCon, and I expect you to take full advantage. I don't know. I'll throw it out to the listeners. Should Jez do a meet and greet? The meet and greet that I went to recently for the Hardy Boys was a big success. We were there till like 1 o'clock in the morning. I still had people going, but I think Jez might be able to do a meet and greet as one of the stalwarts of the community. We could be your Cabana Boys and just like bring you water and stuff like that. But I don't know. Well, chime in. Let us know. Should Jez do a meet and greet? Don't worry about me. It's not an Unshackled Fury meet and greet.
Dude,
Jez,
no one's gonna want to meet and greet.
Jez meet and greet. That's the big plan. While we're busy showing Jez around, because taco plate, we got to figure it out. We got to get this going. And speaking of BlizzCon, I just off the top of my head as I'm thinking about this, if you are going to the convention, I would just throw this out now. Now is a great time, if you haven't already, to start walking. Just a daily walk to get yourself prepared, because it's a fuck ton of walking around that place. You're gonna put on miles and miles a day just to get from place to place. You want comfortable shoes. I'd start breaking them in probably 60 days out. So what's that? July, maybe mid-July, but start walking now. Start getting those miles in. Start getting those legs limbered up, because trust me, you're gonna be thankful that you're putting in the mileage now when you're out there on that convention floor and it is a fucking 1,000 yards away to get to the nearest water fountain. It's a big fucking place. So, just something that is on my mind. All right. For purposes of time, this is going to be a little bit of a shorter one. Wanted to get to Jez. We got a new review and some Q&A questions. 5-star review coming in. I want to thank Cardboardist out of Canada, because Jez, we've got a lock on that Canadian listenership, in case you didn't know. A fantastic WoW podcast, says this title. This is my go-to WoW podcast. Berzerker and Jez are bringing fantastic insight and opinions while having a great rapport that you can sense while listening. It's true, I do like him. You get news and other tidbits you might have missed while also hearing opinions from two people who have played the game for quite a while. They have wonderful discussions, have Q&A with community members, and make the time spent a fun and enjoyable one. Listen to that. If you are looking to stay engaged with the game you love and play, look no further than Unshackled Fury. Check out the video on YouTube as well. My goodness. Checks in the mail. That was that was a fantastic
That was really
review.
kind, yeah.
That was very kind of you. Thank you. Very generous. Very generous. All right. With that, we got to get to Jez's favorite portion of the show. Let's go.
Answers. Q&A.
All right, Q&A. First up, this one's a holdover from a while back. Snope on Discord asked, what is a class or spec that you just can't get the hang of at all? Throw it to you, Jez.
Oh, that's a pretty good one. Tried a couple of times to get into Rogue. And I don't know if it's necessarily that I can't get the hang of it. Or more just like, I can't find the fun, kind of. I feel like a lot of the time, like, and again, maybe this is me not getting the hang of it. I feel like a lot of the time you're just sitting on energy and you can't really do anything.
Yeah.
And then other times it's like, you've got too much energy and there's like, you can't click fast enough because of the global cooldown. I don't know. So I've struggled to get into Rogue, even though like, I've got a Goblin Rogue and Goblin Rogue's badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to give it a proper go, maybe. But I suppose that'd be mine. I honestly don't play a lot of ults. I always end up thinking like, oh, I wish this was my Warlock. You know? But yeah.
You know what you love.
How about you?
You know, it's a genre more than a class or spec. I just can't heal at all. It just doesn't vibe with my brain. I have to be stabbing something. I have to be throwing a spell at something at least. I have to be, putting a shield in front of somebody's face. Like it's I don't know. It's a tactile mindset thing. I don't know what it is, but I've tried it a couple times just for shits and giggles, and I just can't do it. I don't like it. It just feels really oogie. So I can't at all. Second and last question here from the friend Allie on Discord. Put on your game developer hats. What would you do to create the perfect 0.5 patch? And to that, I would say the sort of half patch, semi patch, half chub patch, whatever you want to call this. That's the perfect time for your, like right now, I think we need a big housing update of some kind. There's some there's some aspects to the housing that I think people have identified that need to be put into the game or refined or something like that. A half patch, perfect time for that. Additional story, like maybe through a smaller dungeon, like maybe like a 3-boss dungeon, something like that, where you got some story, you got some gear, it's kind of a little different. Maybe it's in a bridge place of some kind. Certainly a new decor dueling spot, good time to unveil something like that. I think the main raid zone story, major mechanics, all that, like that's your big, that's your 12.1, 12.2, but like your 0.5, your half patches, that's the good time for everything else, because then it gives people time to kind of digest it. I think doing the 0.5 and the 0.7, that might be overkill. You combine those. That I think is where maybe you get a more effective half patch, and maybe finding something else to do other than, oh, it's an invasion point. Okay, it's an invasion point. Okay, we'll go over there. Oh, look, it's an invasion point. Okay, we got it. Like maybe a different iteration on that sort of play as well might be called for. But for you, Jez, what would you do to create the perfect 0.5 patch?
Oh man, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. I think I do like the idea of a single, like little mini raids. I do like the idea, and there has been patches in the past which have had mini raids in the middle. Yeah. But I think like they have to be compelling. They have to have a unique boss with good lore and good loot or some kind of mechanic that makes it interesting, or some kind of cosmetic reward, maybe. Like a cool ass mount, or just some kind of hook beyond being just another loot pinata for gear that is going to be defunct in a few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
The game has become increasingly cosmetic heavy, and
yeah,
and it's and I love that because I love cosmetics. It's just like the cool cosmetics don't come. They're often tied to like trading post or absolutely insane rep grinds.
Mm-hmm.
I think more of that stuff should come in the form of learning a hard boss and getting them down and that kind of thing. I don't know. I remember back in the day we used to get dungeons in mid-season patches.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe not mid-season too often, but they have added delves here and there, which have been cool in some of the mid-season patches at the moment.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I guess, I'd say like a delve here and there, a more compelling single raid boss that maybe had unique mounts or cosmetic rewards to make it worthwhile beyond simply getting a more powerful item.
There you go.
I don't know.
There you go. That's a tough one. It's a tough one trying to figure out how to. There's so much now. Like, what do we prioritize? I mean, I get the struggle, but thank you all for your questions and for that wonderful comment that the review for us. The reviews do help us out. I sound like such a schmuck when I say stuff like this, but it is genuinely helpful to the visibility of the show and other things. So when I go around and asking, hat in hand, that kind of stuff is helpful. So thank you folks for your participation. And all right, I think we've done enough damage for one episode. For those who don't already know, where can the good people find you out on the internet, Jez?
I am over Jez Corden on Twitter, or X, as apparently now known. I'm never going to call it X. It's Twitter to me.
Right.
Like, X is such a terrible brand name.
Yeah.
It's such a terrible brand name. It's bad for SEO. Like, Twitter is decades of brand equity, and you threw it away. But like, it's crazy. It's never going to be called X. But yeah, I'm on Twitter, and also Xbox 2 podcast on YouTube and windowscentral.com/gaming.
There it is. And thank you again, sir, for joining me. And my thanks to all of you as well for tuning in. And remember, you can always follow me and the show on Twitter at Berzerker Rage and Unshackled_Fury, on Blue Sky at Berzerker and Unshackled Fury, as well as on YouTube at Unshackled_Fury. You can also join our Discord, links for which are in the profile of the show on Twitter and on our website, unshackledfury.com. Feel free to contact the show with your questions, comments, or otherwise through any of those resources, or email us at unshackledfuryshow@gmail.com. And you can find this show wherever you get your podcasts. So once again, thank you for listening. Remember to keep your swords wet and your banners high, and we'll see you next time. Farewell.